Hello and happy Tuesday, everyone. I may be, locked in this cage, in this small cage, but why is life a constant rush? Why is it a competition? We can. I can't see your eyes. We can, accept certain things, about life. We can. I just need to be able to see. I've got my coffee. I've got my avocado toast. The sole reason I'm struggling financially, is got to be this avocado toast. The presence of avocado toast in one's life is the sole determinant of one's overall financial situation. We're definitely not going through an economic collapse in the midst of increasing levels of fascism and just normal girl stuff, just normal girl stuff. How are you? How has your week been? What have you been doing with your life? What have you been doing for poison spiders? Is it nothing? Then I think it's a good time to reevaluate your position in life. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm gonna go turn on my lava lamp, for ambience. It's not gonna change literally anything about your version of this experience. There's 100% self-interest on my part. Relax, it's okay. We're not trying to get anywhere, right? There's no goal at the end of this. We're just here, to experience life, whatever it's willing to throw at us, whatever horrible and sufferable dog shit it decides to throw at us. I have pickle juice too. And this is my breakfast, okay? Breakfast is pickle juice, water, coffee, and avocado toast, a little bit of butter. My mom came over. She made bread with me. We incubated the yeast. And we baked a good loaf of bread and a bunch of little buns. I shared some of those buns with my neighbor. My neighbor gave me some vegetables, some radishes, some parsnips, a couple potatoes, a couple onions, some cilantro. Do you think he sees me? I don't think he sees me. I don't think he knows I'm here. Say hi to the audience. No, 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 the other way. Oh, come on. You just can't find the help these days, But, you know what they say? Acceptance of a negative emotion is a positive emotion. And a positive emotion is just another type of negative emotion. I'm gonna light a scented candle. It won't have any impact on your version of this experience. It's purely selfish on my part. while we're at it, I'm going to light a stick of incense. It won't have any effect on your version of this experience. It's 100% selfish on my part. I'm going to open the curtains. Let some sunlight into this dark little cave of a life of mine. It won't have any impact on your version of this experience. It's 100% selfish on my part. Who could have seen this coming? A mass surveillance apparatus. And a mass incarceration apparatus. And a wealthy class of powerful pedophiles. Leading to, like, a single fascist government attacking every other nation on Earth with impunity. And attempting to continue the climate crisis through its oil-based hegemony. You know, decarbonization might be the most powerful weapon we have against the United States of America. And think about it. Where does most of their money come from? Oil. Where does most of their military power come from? Also oil. If no one else wants their oil, they'll just use their oil. And as soon as they're out of their oil, they won't have any more oil. They'll sacrifice all of their potential for any offensive capability whatsoever. So it's the next generation of international conflict. Is it a bunch of solar-powered lasers and we just periodically charge out their capacitors and fire a little zap at one another? Warfare becomes all about precision and timing. I don't know what the future holds, dear viewer. I don't think you do either. But the one thing I do know I really don't appreciate it sometimes. Hello. Yeah. When lamos think they can best me. Alright. So I have been doing some waiting. You know, I've been doing some intentional mindfulness practices of just hanging out, doing other stuff. I did a small amount of writing on the Ballad of Racky Tan. That's up on the Patreon page, you know, for free, you know, like so many other things, you know. I'm not greedy, you know. I'm financially fucked, but I'm not, like, greedy, you know? It would be nice to be able to survive, but honestly, the fact that I'm able, you know, to acquire avocado toast, even through a great deal of grace, you know, from others, means I'm probably pretty prosperous, and things are probably pretty okay, and maybe I shouldn't be worrying about this America country people keep telling me about. But it's concerning. It's definitely concerning. It's definitely alarming. There are definitely problems I see brewing south of this border. And, yeah, I mean, honestly, it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite thing, you know, that there's, well, a great number of people being harmed by this fascist regime that is also simultaneously, attempting to expand and metastasize in a very aggressive way, and has an outsized influence on, like, geopolitics in general. It's kind of a lot to take in. It's kind of a lot to deal with. It's kind of a lot to cope with emotionally. You know, emotionally, even. So, forgive me. You know, forgive me. Or what? Or what will I do? I don't know. There's no negative consequence to not forgiving me. I guess you can just not forgive me. You're gonna hold it against me for the rest of my life. Be like, oh no, she doesn't like, you know, the most powerful country on earth. You know, she doesn't like, oh no, get a blankie and a bottle. Oh no, wow, so rude. How could she? You know? It's like, obviously, the most powerful nation on earth is the one that needs, like, all the protection and coddling and people standing up for her and being like, oh, she did nothing wrong. She's just evil and powerful. You know? But, I mean, all of these arguments will apply to me equally. You know? Because when I rule the world, people will be like, well, why are you defending her, you know? She's already so powerful. You know? When I rule the entire world, that's what people will say. So maybe, you know, I should be a little bit nicer to Little Miss United States of America. Maybe. I'll think about it, okay? I'll consider it. I'll consider it. You know? All things I can do. All things I'm willing, ready, able, and capable of doing. So I don't think I'm gonna run out of arrows anytime soon. I've definitely got plans. I've got plans. I've got designs. I've got purposes, you know? I've got purposes. I've got various intentions, you know? Various intentions. I know this part is kind of tedious, and I apologize if that's not clear. If it's any consolation, I might just cut this out in post, and then you won't have to watch the whole thing. And then this apology won't even matter. Because you won't even see this part of it. That's the whole thing. Not at all. Not at all. I don't know what to do about that middle one. I might just get rid of it. We'll see. But we are getting close to the edge of my storage capacity, to be totally honest. The nice thing about bone blocks is they do dramatically increase the storage efficiency of this. So no matter how much I actually harvest, I do have a pathway, you know, to dealing with this. But now I'm pretty much out of sauce. You know, I'm pretty much out of sauce. We can just make more bone blocks, you know. It definitely helps, you know, but it doesn't solve the problem, you know. And the problem now is abundance itself, you know. I just have too many bones. I have too many bone blocks. I have too much material to work with, which honestly I think of as a very good problem to have. So we might just try. You know, harvesting the remaining bones from this place, because I think we're pretty close anyway, and we might actually be able to empty that last chest and just get enough bones, but we're pretty close to the limit in terms of storage space elsewhere. You haven't seen this because it's all happened off camera, but there's definitely room in my life for very little else. You know, I've actually got pretty much everything I was trying to achieve. And the thing is, I've found over the course of my life that usually when I'm close to having everything that I want, I usually stop at about that point. Because I don't like the end game. I don't like the part of the game where I have the 90-10 mech and I'm stomping around and I'm totally in charge of the battlefield. I don't really like that part of the game, because it feels too easy. It feels like, well, you know, of course, right? It's just the natural conclusion to everything. It's what was going to happen from the start. It seems like, you know, once I win, then, you know, everything that I fought to achieve suddenly becomes like, you know, victory was inevitable the whole time. Now the victory somehow feels hollow and empty. Which is, like, paradoxical and maybe self-defeating. Then I have to remember that self-defeating is a type of feating, And that gives me some joy, you know, to make up for it, to make up for the pain of victory, of total success, of absolute, unequivocal, unmitigated, complete, just dominion and control, you know, total mastery of reality itself, you know? Because as soon as it's achieved, it's too easy. You know? As soon as one controls the entire universe, oh, it's too easy. It was always going to happen. It was always inevitable. 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 You know? Inevitable. So, you know, these are some things I worry about, you know, constantly, you know? Being as I am, the mistress of my own fate, as it were. As it were. You know, as it were. As it was, as it were. As I squeeze it to be. And then we can definitely trade something. Can we trade out this shovel, one pickaxe? I think we can trade out one pickaxe. I think that's okay. And then, do we need anything from this furnace? No. Okay. So we're at the point now. We're actually at the point now. You'll never believe the next sentence. Of actually being able to enjoy infinite power and mastery of reality. I know. Took a long time to get this far. It really did. But, we're here. I'm actually able to enjoy it. Why? Well, I think it can be more succinctly explained as, like, why not? Like, we can get a stack of glowberries. Look how easy that is. Boom, stack of glowberries, right? It's a ridiculous number of glowberries. And then somewhere up here, I think there's a moss block. I don't remember where. I might just trade this out for a shovel, and then we can grab some dirt. You know, I need some dirt. I really need some dirt. Another way of saying this is I could actually really use some dirt. Some dirt would be very helpful right now. I love dirt. You know, dirt's a friend of mine. Dirt is a beloved companion. Dirt is nourishing. Dirt is worthwhile. You know, dirt is a form of dirt is a form of love. Dirt is a form of love. That's it. I mean, it's that simple. It's that shrimple, dear viewer. Dirt is a form of love. Here. So we've got a little bit of dirt now. We've got some glurburbus, even. We can get that. We can get that. We can definitely get up there. Right? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, man. Be cool. Be cool. There we go. Be tentacool. Like tentacruel. But not tentacool. Because tentacool is not tentacool. Tentacruel is tentacool. But tentacool is like kind of lame.
Why do I dislike Tentacool? Am I a Tentacool hater? I mean, yes, but why? You know, but why? But why? But why? I don't know. I don't know. Come on, don't ask me to justify myself. I'm not gonna. I just won't. I won't do it. No. Boop, boop, boop. Here's what we do. Okay, there's one thing I want to do here. There's one thing I want to do here. There's one thing I would like to do here, which is I'm going to get rid of that actually because that's annoying. But the other thing I want to do is I want to do this, and I want to get more of these. And it might make sense in a little bit why I want those, but first I'm going to just like set them down so they can have a chance to oxidize. But we can get there, we can get there, we can get there, we can get there, we can get there. You know, one thing at a time, dear viewer. You know, don't rush this experience. You know, don't rush this experience. You know, don't be a jerk. You know, don't be a jerk. Don't be a jerk. You know, don't be a jerk. Don't rush this experience. You know, dear viewer, don't rush the experience. You know, frankly, don't even rush the experience. Okay, so what am I even doing? What am I doing here? You know, what is my purpose in life, dear viewer? What is it that I am even trying to do? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Okay? It could even be said by some, by others, you know, by those outside of myself, you know, that I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to do anymore. You know, I have thought long and hard about a great number of desires, you know, that I've had in my life, things that I have wanted and I have attempted to achieve, and I have realized over and over again that attempting to achieve many things just creates a state of suffering in and of itself. So like, why even bother? You know, I'm really smart. I'm the first person to think of this. I'm the first and only person to ever go through this thought process. But because I thought of it, that makes it a proper thought process. In the sense of, you know, THOT. A thought process is a process initiated by a thought. I'm a thought, therefore, thought process. It's that simple. It's that shrimple. All right. But, you know, in my incredibly intelligent brain and decision-making and understanding brain, you know, I've discovered this truth, this noble truth. I'm calling it an eightfold path. You know, why? Because, like, 8 it's a number, okay? Shut up is why. Just shut up, stop talking. Stop talking, shut up. Okay? Okay, that's why, okay? I'm calling it the eightfold path, okay? Okay, I'm just calling it that. You know, you have a problem with it? Get off my case, to be honest. To be totally honest. You know, but like, wanting things is dumb, bro. Wanting things is so dumb. Who cares? You know? Just don't want anything. Just don't want anything. Don't want anything, don't have anything. Don't do anything. It's all fine, you know? Let your life kind of just go all over the place, you know? It's fine, whatever. Who cares? You know? I was born and I was like royalty, you know? I had like concubines out the wazoo. You know, I don't even know what a wazoo is, and I had concubines out of it. Coming out of it, falling out of it. I don't know. I don't even know the specifics of the wazoo. But you know, everything was going great. Everything was going great. And then I just wandered off into the woods and I was like, oh, I'm going to become enlightened. You know, and then I lost absolutely everything that I had in my life. And I'm fine. It's fine. I'm not even worried. See? It's fine. It's fine. I'm not mad. It's fine. I'm not even mad. I'm not even, like, mad. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And everybody should do what I did. Because it's so fine. And it's great. It's great. It's great. And one day I'll convince myself that that's true. But today is not that day. And I have still got a few desires left in me. One of those desires is to absolutely festoon this place with bioluminescent lighting and cherry blossoms. Just cherry blossoms. Like, look at these things. Look at these things. Look at them. Aren't they pretty? And I can absolutely get a stack of these with like no trouble at all. See that? Boom. Right? So easy. It's so easy. It's literally that easy. It's clitorally that easy. Look at how clitorally easy that is. I just boop, 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 boop my way along the way, all the way this way, and just keep going and just keep going. You know? I just keep going. I just keep going. But I choose not to because, oh, hey, I just discovered this. I just noticed this. I just found out about this. I just realized this exists. Bro, no! Oh, fuck. Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not even worried about it. I'm not even mad about it. I'm not even upset about it. I'm not even a little bit. I'm not even mad about it. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, there's like an eightfold path. You know, why 8? It's like tentacles on an octopus, to be honest. You know, I just like tentacles. I just think they're neat. I think the little suckers on them are kind of like interesting and cool. You know, it's just an interesting solution to the problem of like articulated hand motions and stuff like that. And I'm definitely not doing so well in terms of health and wellness, you know, but I can at least sleep in a bed. I can sleep in a bed. I can sleep in a bed. And then, you know, I don't have to worry so much about my health. I can just pretend, you know, that everything is totally okay, and that guy isn't giving me a hard time, isn't making my life hard, and then my life will be normal and fine. As long as I can pretend that everything's normal and fine, then everything will be normal and fine. That's how it works. I think, I assume. Oh no. Hello. Alright. We can definitely get another stack of these. There's another stack of these. Get another stack of these. You know, I mean, I thought when I had all of this bone meal that I would have like some sort of euphoria or joy, but now it's kind of like, feels a little mechanical, you know? It feels a little mechanical. It feels just a little bit mechanical. Just strange, you know? It's like, yes, I was working towards this goal for a really long time. And like, yes, now I have achieved it and I feel like some sense of satisfaction. But what I feel more than satisfaction is I just feel a sense of like loss and longing, you know? Maybe it's just longing for the feeling of trying to achieve something, of having a goal and setting out for it, you know? Like the moment I achieve the goal, you know, the energy evaporates, the desire itself, I think, is actually what I, at least, just speaking for myself, what I, at least, enjoy the most is the desire, it's the hunt, it's the chase, it's the wanting that is pleasurable. Because the moment you actually have something, it evaporates. You have it, you experience it, you remember it maybe, right? And you can try to like return the pleasure to yourself by remembering it. But at the end of the day, you've experienced it. It's over. It's gone, dude. It's gone. So, avoiding pleasure in favor of feeling desire is almost like
a pleasure of its own.
Just messed up, dude. It's like the craziest, like, I don't know. It's something. It's something. It's something. It's something. Is there something wrong with me for, like, thinking that way? Maybe. But I find it quite effective, you know? Like, I don't actually want anything. I just want the feeling of wanting something. It's like convincing yourself that you can be satisfied on hunger itself. Convincing yourself that you can live 100% on the feeling of emptiness in your stomach that comes from never eating. Does that sound like a disorder of some kind? No. 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 Not even, no. Nope. Don't think critically about this. You know, don't examine this. You know, don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't think critically. Don't do that. Thinking critically, I barely knowically. Don't do it. Nope. Nope. No critical thinking. More like critical stinking. Because you're stinking wrong if you try to do critical thinking. That's what they taught me in normal school. Yeah. Critical thinking is like critical thinking. Oh. That's a bone block. Okay. And then we just keep going. We just make more cherry blossoms. We just keep doing this. We just keep going crazy. We just keep going crazy with this. You know? We just keep going. You know? There's no stopping it. There's only dropping it. Which I think is, like, fascinating, actually. You know? Because, like, what was supposed to be the point? This is what I was trying to do, you know? For me, the end of the game, the end of this game, this is the end game. Like, this is the achievement of, like, this entire game. This is what makes it a fun game for me. You know, the Ender Dragon, I don't care. I don't care at all. I am literally being honest that I don't care about, you know, the goal that's imposed on me. And this is why this game, you know, has embedded itself so deeply in my nervous system. It's because I can refuse. To follow the goals that are imposed on me, what I'm expected to want, what I'm expected to desire, because that's the only thing in life that we have any power over. Or it's just to choose. It's not to choose what to desire, because we have desire is built into us, you know? But it's the choice. It's the choice of what to suffer for, what to suffer to try to achieve, what to suffer to try to get, what to suffer for the sake of desiring it. Desiring it is suffering. So enjoying the suffering and enjoying the desire are one and the same. You have to want to suffer in order to love. You have to want to suffer for someone, something, you know, some process, some belief system. In order to love at all, you have to accept that it will hurt you. And how have these cherry blossoms hurt me? Well, I've spent 42 episodes trying to find a way, you know, to grow as many cherry blossoms as possible, as many glowberries as possible, you know, to light this whole place up. That's what I suffered for.
You know? Was it all suffering?
No, I had fun. I enjoyed it. You know, we had a lot of good moments together. Can I remember many of them?
I remember trekking across frozen wastelands. I remember polar bears. I remember seeing strays. I remember seeing those starved desert dudes. Yeah, I remember finding buried treasure. I remember being here with you, dear viewer. But I don't remember you. I'll never be able to access the side of this equation where I actually get to see who I've been talking through this little bit of life experience with. You know? I'll never get to know you. Because you're just on the other side of the screen. The only thing connecting us are some fiber optic cables, to which I also have no access. So even if this series ends up being something that people watch, you know, there's a fundamental disconnect implied by the medium. And yeah, now I have as many arrows as I could ever want. I can fire as many arrows as I'll ever need. You know? I can deal with every problem from a far-off, alienated vantage point. I can light up as many caves as I want. I can dig as deep as I want. I only have to wait a little bit, you know, to get everything I'm trying to get. You know, I can have my compost powered, you know, joy and excitement. I've achieved it, right? And you can see it and maybe think, oh, that's cool, I'd like that, right? And maybe I'd like that in the real world. And maybe we can share that desire. You know, that desire for Planet World. But at the end of the day, we're still on opposite sides of this screen. Not like going to the city and showing up at the council meetings and talking about tree splicing, you know? I'm not making the brave decisions to, like, go and make this a real thing. I'm alienating both of us from a productive form of revolution, a productive form of revolutionary thought. Because obviously, just it's whack-a-mole. You know? You take out one group of very powerful, very evil men, and equally powerful, equally evil men come and take their place. The cycle of history repeats itself. It repeals, you know? It repeals itself. It repeals itself. It repeals itself over and over again. So what are we to do about it? What's the answer? What's the solution? You know, what's the way? What's the way? What's the answer? What is the eightfold path? You know, what are the tentacles to this octopus? Probably it has something to do with brushing your teeth, you know, flossing every day, and choosing a new path forward. Choosing a new path forward in your own life. Because right now, if you are watching this, which is surprising, thank you, you're not engaging with the world, right? There's some kind of pain that perhaps you're trying to avoid, or maybe you're choosing this because you find me extremely annoying and you're choosing to suffer, which is philosophically honest, and I appreciate that, but I highly recommend choosing a different form of suffering. The only thing I would say is, like, if you're interested in trees and in bioluminescent lighting and in making tree cities, start talking to people. Go outside. Go do it out in the world. You know? So why did I spend 42 episodes on this? When I was 14, I really wanted to be a Minecraft YouTuber. And I tried. I actually did make a short series. But it was so boring, and I hated the sound of my own voice so much that I deleted every single episode of it. It is now lost media. Will I ever know what that would have been like if I'd left it up? Should I have kept doing it? I don't think so. I don't think I was very interesting at that age, to be honest. I just didn't have much life experience, and I didn't have much to say that was interesting. I did talk a little bit about, like, some planetary physics I thought was neat. You know, but that's not my stuff. That's just repeating some stuff I heard and thought was cool. Here, we've got a lot more blocks, hey? Let's throw some jerky in there. But what's a real revolution? A real revolution is a change in the way that we think. It's a change in the way that we approach life itself. It's a change. It's not attempting to go back to something that we've experienced before, which is classic fascist rhetoric. It's not an attempt to create some nirvana, right, which is utopian in nature and ultimately self-defeating, because as soon as we encounter the imperfection of the real world, that utopic vision evaporates and the enthusiasm for the project likewise evaporates. No, a real revolution is a revolution in the way that we approach our day-to-day lives. When we get up in the morning and we go outside, what our intentions are and our effect on the world outside of us, that's the revolution. It's just changing what we choose to do, what we want to do, what we desire, and what we're willing to suffer for as a result. And I say we. I've been saying we, you know? But I'm so up a creek about it. Because that's what I want. It's what I want. And I have experienced a lot of punishment for the fact that I don't want what other people want, generally. Other people want one thing, I want something, they tell me, that's a weird thing to want, you shouldn't want that, why do you want that, you know, you smell bad, you know, things of this nature. And that tends to be where the conversation begins and ends. But, I don't think it has to. I don't think that has to be the way. I don't even think it needs to be the way. I think it can be a lot of different ways. I think it can be a lot of different ways than that. There's that, and then there's that. I don't know if that's necessary, but I'll leave it that way. I'll leave it that way for now. I've got dirt. Okay, I've got dirt. One could even say I have dirt. One might even come to the conclusion that I have dirt. And there is something I've been wanting to do with it. So let's go do that then. Let's go fulfill some desire. So that we then might acquire a new desire. I'm in a very philosophical mood. It's Valentine's Day. Did you know that? It's Valentine's Day. I'm recording this Valentine's Day. You know, the weird commercialized celebration of, well, committed, monogamous, heterosexual love. Right? Where they literally try to sell us normative sexuality and romantic relationships through imperialist chocolate treats. It's a mess. It's a mess, this whole thing. You know? It's an absolute mess. Now, I know for a fact that I have some cherry saplings. I just don't know where I have them. And I know I have a lot of them, which is what makes it a little frustrating. But, well, there is one thing I can do, which is I can use this and a stone cutter to make more of that, which is one thing. That's one thing. So why not do that one thing? What I'm really trying to do, though, is I'm trying to make you understand a deep, fundamental truth about life and the universe and everything. And that truth can be summed up in a very simple statement. An azalea is a tree type. It's its own tree type. It counts. It's a real type of tree. It literally is exactly what it's supposed to be. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful because it's beautiful to me. And you can say it to yourself, with me, viewer. An azalea is a real type of tree. It's a real tree type. It counts. It matters. It's important. It's worthwhile. It's worthy of love. It's really, honestly, yes, a real tree type. Just like allium is a real type of flower. And the oxeyes are also a real type. And the peonies are a real type of flower. Even though they're a little different, they're a little unique. They're not quite like the other flowers. They're just a bit different. They're still real, they still count. There's a lot of types of love, too. Not all love is the love that lasts forever and never goes away and never changes. The Valentine's Day can be about your friends. Valentine's Day can be about the loves that last for a week, or a night, or 3 years and then just stops. What makes love painful a lot of times is our expectations, right? That because it happened one way, it needs to keep happening that way, or because it worked out that way, it needs to elaborate on that, you know? I think a lot of the suffering comes from what we expect of love. Like, you can be friends with someone, and you can cuddle with that person. You can be friends with someone, and you can do almost anything with that person, and still exclusively, simply, honestly, actually, literally just be friends. You can love someone to the absolute core of their being. You can feel romantic love beyond any romantic love you've ever felt for someone. And even if you don't express it physically, it still exists. It can even be mutual and go physically unexpressed. Doesn't make it not love, doesn't make the feelings not real, doesn't make anything about it untrue, inferior, false, any of that. It just is. And that's what I'm talking about when I say Happy Valentine's Day. Here's to all of that complicated, unusual, rare love that comes in a million different ways and refuses to conform to our expectations of it. Is there something fundamentally imperialist about the way I'm spreading these flowers? Maybe. Do I look like I give a fuck? Do I look like I give one single fuck? IDG AF. You know what that stands for? I do give a fuck. I do care. It does matter to me. It does matter to me. Deeply, sincerely. Beyond all of my attempts to revoke or dismiss or relocate those feelings, it does matter to me. Because I have in my life a love which I would dearly love to express to the absolute utmost of my ability. To feel, to desire, to say, to attempt to communicate, to experience. And it looks like this particular love, I'm gonna have to put a rock on top of. A big, immovable boulder that I'll never be able to move. So that I'm never tempted to move that boulder. It might be the hardest thing. It might be the hardest thing in the world. It might be the hardest thing I've ever had to do. But putting that boulder on top of it seems to be the only way that I'm going to be able to express any of it at all. Even a tenth of it, I'll only be able to express if I can take this infinitely massive, torturous, natural force that is what I feel and put a big, heavy lid on it. And maybe that's not the right answer. Maybe that's not what I should do. You know, maybe it's just what I'm telling myself I need to do. You know, but I don't know. This is one of those times where I really don't know what the right thing is. One of those rare times where I am forced by circumstance and life and nature and all that's good in the world to reckon with the fact that I don't actually know the answer right now. Do I hold back? Or do I put 100% of myself into it, knowing full well that it will only cause more alienation and abandonment? That I will only suffer if I try to express it fully? Or do I put a lid on it and only ever get to express maybe 0.1% of what I actually feel? I don't know, and I am certain that you don't know either. So why am I asking? Why am I even raising the question, right? Maybe together, you know, through engaging with this question, we can come closer, you know, to an understanding of life and its value, you know? It's a collaborative process, you know? You dingus, you dweeb, you wad, basically. yeah, life is collaborative. Jackass, you know.
You fucking dick. Come on, it's collaborative. You idiot. You idiot. You know? It's not meant to be lived alone. It's not meant to be lived in isolation. You might feel your attempts are feeble. You might feel that what you're able to express is small in comparison to what I'm able to express. But I guarantee you that what I receive is more than enough. Just more than enough. To satisfy. Desire. Desire. Okay, so I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna see if I have my saplings in that other base down in the ravine. And then I'm gonna see if I have my cherry wood, because I saved a lot of cherry as well. And I want to use that cherry wood. I want to make use of that cherry wood. I would like to make use of that cherry wood. Here, there's some stuff there. There's some things. Let's try this, right? I mean, we've got this, like, location here. I see there's a bamboo stalk there. Can I fall on it? Just barely. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Can we get there? Can we get... I want to get rid of that so that I don't have to miss. I don't know. Love is weird. It's like, it can't just be a game of tennis. It can't just be like, well, I give you $1, you give me $1 back. I give you $1, you give me $1 back, and we just spend the rest of our lives trading back and forth the exact same dollar, right? There must be some sort of transformative process to it, or else it just feels like nothing, just net zero. At the same time, it can't be completely unequal, or it feels unfair, right? I give $1, you give $2, I give $1, you give $2. Eventually, I just kind of feel like I'm taking your money. It doesn't feel fair, it doesn't feel right. Right? I give $1, you give $3, I give $5, you give $9. It just keeps increasing, right? We give each other more and more and more and more until finally we reach the point where one of us gives too much and can't give anymore, and then has to stop. And then we're both disappointed. One of us because we're in debt, and the other one because we weren't able to pay off the debt. That's no good for anyone either. Love that tapers off, eventually dissatisfies. Right? We're like, why did that end? I didn't want that to end. Right? But love can't continue forever. It's just not possible. Nothing lasts forever. Literally nothing in this world ever lasts forever. It can't. It's fundamentally, physically impossible.
I give you $4, you give me a peach, I give you a place to stay, you give me a ride to something I want to go to, you take me on an adventure, I take you dancing. It comes in a million different forms and a million different times. We disconnect, we come back together, we experience life in each other's proximity. We know a lot of the same people. We go to a lot of the same parties. You know, we live together for a while. We have a baby together. You know, just normal stuff. Just normal low stakes hanging out, you know, just raising an entire human being together, you know, for our entire lives, you know, just casually. And eventually, one of us dies. It's kind of disappointing, you know? It's kind of selfish, dude. You just died first, you know? Now I have to be alone. Both of my grandmas are going through this right now, actually. Both of my grandpas died before my grandma and my oma. My opa died before my oma, my gramps died before my grams. So now my grams and my oma are both free agents. It'd be very strange of me to expect that they would pair up. But, like, kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Kind of makes sense. You know? In a very, very different version of the world, it would be expected of them. Just saying. In an extremely different version of the world, it would be expected of them. Okay, so there were a couple of things I wanted to do in this episode, and I think that because I got a little bit lost just growing flowers, I kind of lost the plot, which is okay, and I'll deal with it, but I was trying to do something specific, and I think the answer now is just going to be to go and do that specific thing. And that specific thing is I want to get a little bit of what is it called? Warped Nylium? I think it's called Warped Nylium. I'm going to want some golden armor because I'm going to go into the nether. Okay, I'm going to go into the nether. But I'm going to want more stronger golden armor than this. Or just not take any damage. I think I'm going to try the second one. Because if I take any damage at all, then I'll invite the wrath of the pigmen. But, well, the piglins, right? It's different than pigmen. It's different. It's like fundamentally completely different, despite looking very similar and acting very similar. You know, having very similar sorts of things going on. Okay, so what I can do is I can drop this off while I face some danger. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make a little fort in the nether. Oh hey, I didn't realize that. I'm right there. That's kind of cool. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to make a little fort in here. That I can then use as a jumping off point for everything else I'm trying to do. And why am I using bone blocks as the raw material? Because they look badass, dude. They look badass. They look cool. That's it. That's the only reason. They're solid blocks that aren't transparent. They're kind of cool. I like them. They're batty. You know, they're batty. What I'm going to have to do in order to achieve this is just keep going. Just to keep going. I mean, that's the answer, isn't it? Wasn't that always the answer? Wasn't that always the answer at every other stage in your life? Just keep going. Keep trying. Do something else. If it's not working, do something else. But don't get caught up in the idea that you're going to find, like, the answer at some point. And that then everything is just going to be okay. Right? I mean, I think that traditional romantic expectations of monogamy do kind of come down to, like, fundamentally the problem with that approach is that it is the attempt to finalize the value and purpose of one's life through another person. And it's just as much of a problem when that is imposed on another person as when it's imposed on you. You think, oh, I have found the purpose of my life, right? It's like, it's equally toxic whether the purpose of your life is suddenly a specific job, a specific form of art, a specific person. All of those are equally as much of a problem, because at some point there will always be a point where whatever it is, whether it's a person, whether it's a form of art, whether it's a job, it just ends. And then you're left being like, I found the point. And now the point's gone. The point is gone, and it's gone forever, and it's never coming back. And the grief that causes. As someone who's personally experienced that grief, it is not something I would wish on anyone. It's not anything I would wish on anyone good. Let's say that. I would absolutely wish it on Epstein. I would wish it on Jeff Bezos. I would wish it on Elon Musk. To find, oh, the purpose of life is to acquire as much money as possible. And then in a single day, for money to become completely irrelevant. I would wish that on them. I would absolutely wish that on them. Because they're like fucking dinglords. Except Epstein. Because there's just no word that's bad enough. I can't like humorize it or put it into sarcasm. I mean, why does he deserve more ire than anybody else he was like enabling? Does he? I think so. I think somehow there's something. Because not only was he doing something horrible, he was doing something horrible to trap other people into a cycle of doing something horrible over and over again. Not that any of the other people involved would have really necessarily left that cycle if it hadn't been for him. You know? getting offed, but there's something worse about the guy who makes it his job to corrupt others. I don't know another way to say it. That's it. No matter how bad those others are already, right? It's the fact he's working to make them worse. You know what I mean? I don't even know if I'm making any sense. And why am I even talking about it? I'm a Minecraft YouTuber, for goodness sake. I mean, this is so far out of my... Have I gotten any vines out of this? I feel like I should be getting some vines out of this. Okay, so I am getting some vines out of this. Let's do that. And then the other thing I want to do is I do want to get some warped mushrooms. It's a little bit weird that I can't find any warped fungus. Because I know that until recently you could, yeah, there we go, that's what I was looking for. Boom. Okay, so it won't grow on this backdrop, but you can get it to grow. And I know the reason I want it. It's a deterrent for hoglins. Here. But it does seem to be abundantly rare. It's very strange. I thought it was a little bit more common. There we go. Okay. I mean, at least that gives me some kind of a perimeter to work with. But yeah, I can't tell if the piglins... I don't think the piglins will attack me unless I try to, like, break down their stronghold. The fact that I've spawned in right next to a stronghold is, like, unbelievably nice. The world is available for download, also on Patreon, by the way. You know, in case you needed another free and nice reason to go check that out. You know? Is it worth paying me for? You know, I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, honestly, if you decide to, I'm infinitely grateful to you. You know, it'll help me survive at all, you know, which would be nice. You know, don't get me wrong. Fully appreciate that. It's good. You know? But, you know, I can't expect that from anybody. It's kind of interesting, right? Like, what we need, what we physically need in order to survive, we can't expect, we can't even really ask for. It's not even really right to ask for what we need. Doesn't matter how much we need it. Doesn't even matter how much we need it. There's certain things it's just not right to ask for. And love is one of those things. Because it only counts if it's voluntary. Anything that's not voluntary isn't love. It's the most important thing in the world and we all need it. So it makes perfect sense that the worst monsters in the world would be the people who tried to cheat. Right? And and specifically to cheat at love, to try to get some kind of version of it, no matter how twisted or off that version is, right? That what they're trying to get, fundamentally, even if they're trying to achieve it through absolutely inhumane acts of cruelty and brutality, fundamentally, the thing, the impulse, the desire they're trying to satisfy is the need for love. And because they can't let go of control, they can never be loved. So obviously they're in pain. And then they inflict that pain on others, right? And I think it's important to remember, no matter who you are, no matter what you're going through, it's always possible to enter that cycle. There's no level of goodness or kindness or lovingness that absolves you from the possibility of entering that cycle. That cycle of abuse, right? The causing pain as a way to get attention, as a way to simulate what love would feel like if you had it. Right? Just throwing a tantrum for attention. We're all capable of it. Except me. Not me. No. Definitely not. I am uniquely above it. I could never hurt someone. I am simply a good person. I would simply be a better person than that. That's the only thing. That's what puts me above all evildoers. I don't know, man. Look, I mean, I guess the point is, right, we'll never really fix it, right? We'll never really fix the darkness within human nature, and we'll never really fix the problems that the horrible things about human nature end up creating, right? Because human nature does create a lot of problems. It really does. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to get like a fourth warped mushroom. It feels like this should be quite doable. Is it the proximity to an existing warped mushroom that's preventing this from happening? It could be. I mean, that's kind of validating to that idea. It's so strange, isn't it? But yeah, I definitely want to close this off because that feels important. Oh, actually, no, that doesn't. Because what I really want is I want this, I want that, and then I want this, so that I have a root. And then that's going to be a doorway. And this is going to be like a perimeter of warped fungus. I'm going to make like a whole border around this. But now there's no warped fungus all around me, right? There's a nice convenient little lava moat around this island that I think, okay, this is the only place that breaks that lava moat. So this is where I really want the warped mushrooms to be, is on either side of this. And then it's just a matter of trying, however flailingly, however failingly, to create more of that which I love and less of that which I hate. You know, more love, more honest attempts to meet people where they're actually at and to provide them with what they actually want, and to surrender my own desire in that situation. You know, not to say screw what I want, fuck that, but to put a lid on it. To take that big rock on top of it. And beyond that, not to confuse my own desire with love. Because they're not the same thing. They feel almost the same, but they couldn't possibly be more different. And I am absolutely startled that I haven't gotten more warped fungus out of this situation. It's a little strange to me. Seems a little odd. Don't quite get it. I don't know what's going on here. But I do have some, and I might as well put them down for a little solid state storage. And a chance to actually see where I'm going. And I'm going to keep one, so I have one. And I'm going to also get rid of something, so I have something else. And get rid of that. And then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to chop down some of this so that I have some wood. I'm going to make door, I'm going to make other stuff. I'm going to get rid of this so that I can have that. I am really trying to get some wood. I'm trying to get some wood. There we go, I got some wood. Good. Okay, so now what I'm trying to do. Okay, I'm trying to do this. Yeah, so I have that. So I have this. So I go there, and then I take this and I put it probably like, I don't know, here. I don't know. Actually, this is interesting because it's kind of like a window to the outside, and I want to keep it. Let's put it here because we've already lost that as, you know, ground. And then we've got this, so we can make doors. We can make a chest, so we have storage. But honestly, I think I'd rather just make doors. So I want this door to be here, and I want this door to be here, and I want more bone blocks. I mean, the most loving thing you can do can't just be to give someone what they want. If somebody else wants what you can't give, and you give it anyway, right? You're just torturing yourself for another person. And there's no way I can convince myself that that's a loving act. Self-torture also couldn't be further from love. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on, isn't there? There's a lot going on in life, you know? Some people don't realize that there's a lot going on in life, but I do. And that makes me cooler and smarter and better than a lot of people. That's one of the things I've noticed. And you can grow bamboo in the nether. There's no consequences to doing so. It's actually quite easy to do. It just takes a little bit of dirt. Just takes a little bit of dirt. That's all it does. Right? It looks a little meh, but it's a good way to get sticks. It's a very low effort, very low consequence. I think it's worth doing. And then, what did I want? I was hoping to get some fence gates and some fencing. And I can do that by doing this. I can get a gate, right? And then I can get some more fencing by doing this, and that, and this, right? Boom. There's just a little bit, just enough to know I mean business, but not enough to know I mean like a lot of business. Just some business. Just a reasonable amount of business. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay. So, there, I guess, I don't know. I mean, this is pretty lame. But what I'm really trying to do, what I'm really attempting to do, you know, what I could really be said to be trying to do, is I'm trying to find warped forest so that I can find a place for my poison spiders to frolic in freedom and enjoy, you know? To really finally get their creebling on, you know? Because that's the most important thing. You know, before love, right? Before happiness, before joy, before any of that other bullshit, you know, can happen. I need my poison spiders to have a safe, loving environment to enjoy. And that's the only thing I'll accept. It's the only thing I'll accept. Okay. So, they don't seem to be giving me a hard time because I've got this golden helmet. But the moment I take a single point of damage, I will no longer have the golden helmet. In a sense, I'm playing on a very high difficulty, purely self-imposed. Oh. Oh. What's that in the distance? That's what we call a warped forest, baby. So now the question is, can I actually get there without causing myself catastrophicness? I think I can. And the way that I can is I can resort to what we in the business call a little bit of bone bridging. A little bit of bone bridging. Okay. Because I have a bow. I don't even want to speak it. I don't even want to speak my fear into existence. Okay. Even though I see it. Currently, right here, right now, in my environment, I see it. Okay, so the question is, do I go back and get Silk Touch before I go there, or do I scope out the whole path there before I go? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to scope out the whole path there, even if it's the wrong decision, even if it's the wrong decision, even if it's the wrong thing to do. I'm going to do it anyway. I thought I could grab it. Okay. Well, whatever. Guess I'm just gonna have to accept it. I'm just gonna have to accept the risk. But yeah, I mean, as soon as I get here, I'm out of Hoglin territory. They won't come for me, because now I'm in the place where they're not. So, that's good. And that's good. And they have those things. And this is this. And this is the place to get my Kribble on. And now I have a good enough reason to itemize some obsidian. No, man. Nope. Okay. Not what I want. Not what I want. No, no, no. There's absolutely no way I'll make it back. But at the same time, I have to try. Oh, okay. And this is why I left the golden shovel on that side, right? Yeah. That's the reason. And then we're gonna want arrows and a bow. Right? Arrows and one bow. Arrows, bows, bones, food. Is that the only thing I'm missing now? Food? Food would be nice. Here's the food. Well, it's not like I'm gonna be able to get all of my items back. Like, at least something fell in the lava there. Like, that's absolutely true. I don't know what fell in the lava. It could be anything. Right? But that's not my goal. My goal isn't getting my stuff back. My goal is very simple. My goal is going there, getting a block of nylium. Just one block is all I need. And then hightailing it back home. Okay. And I'm willing to... Okay, but you see that there's that thing you're scared of? It's right there, yeah? God, I love my relationship with law enforcement. And that's about it. We just gotta follow through on everything we've planned. It's the only thing left. And hope, 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 beyond hope, that, does the shovel work on Nylium? Tell me it works on Nylium. Are you fucking kidding me? Doesn't work on Nylium. Okay, well... You know it does work on Nylium. You know what literally does work on Nylium? Endermen. And Endermen, as evidenced by their name... Dude. You're in the biome. This isn't your biome. You don't like it here. Are men. And because Endermen are men, I can firmly justify murdering them for their Nylium. Which shouldn't be hard, because they're not very tall. Or they're too tall. Where is that guy? Where are you? Hey, you. Yes, I'm looking at you. Come on, dude. Dude, are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? I see you. Look, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. Okay. Now it's very simple. Just get into the hidey hole. Yeah. See? That's not hard at all. And now, that means I have 3 warped Nylium. I still have my Silk Touch shovel, which I am not in any mood or desirousness to lose. I would really like to have full hunger for this, but I know where I'm going. I know exactly what I'm trying to do, and I'm not stopping. I want my bow out. I have full offensive capabilities. I have arrows, you know? I have my bones. I have it all worked out. I have it all figured out. You know? This game, I know this game inside and out. I know this game like the backside of my insides. Like the inside of the upside of my upside down bones. And that guy has my fucking boots. Am I gonna waste all of everything that I've worked for just out of pettiness? No. Not because I'm above it. In fact, it's exactly the opposite. It's because it's the absolute greatest revenge I can achieve. It's just to let it go. Ain't that stupid? But it's true. The best thing I can do is let it go. Oh, and then the second best thing I can do is forget. I needed that. I needed that to cross the threshold. I needed at least one itemized block to bring it back to the overworld. I really didn't ask you whether or not you wanted to transmit. The blue Nylium. I only want the blue Nylium. I don't actually want the red Nylium. Not even at all. I don't even want it a little bit. And it's clear that I'm going to have to remove all of it before I can replace any of it. Clearly there's some kind of preference. I thought it was 50-50 whether it spreads. Like, if you have a netherrack block between warp Nylium and crimson Nylium, I thought that it's a 50-50 chance whether the un-Nyliumed block becomes warped or crimson. But every single time I have done this just now, if there's been crimson Nylium, it's spread crimson Nylium. It's just, you know, I mean, technically that could have happened by random chance, yes. But didn't really seem random. Well, there's an exception. So maybe I'm wrong. Probably just wrong. Probably just wrong. Probably just wrong about things a lot of times. But yeah, I don't know where that's coming from. That's got to be coming from outside. Okay. But at least there's this little island of the Nylium that I want. And did I get my potatoes? I did get my potatoes. So here's what I can do. I can de-risk this process a great deal by going back here and dropping off my Silk Touch shovel. And furthermore, I can de-risk it by going all the way over here and just taking a pee. Alright, babes, we're back. We're back at the exact same point we just were. We're gonna try again. Okay, we're gonna try again. I have to go in, and I'm gonna have to go out. But first I'm gonna drop off some nice things that I just got so that I'm not 100% up the creek the next time I come through here. Because a lot of this stuff is pretty valuable to me. Yeah. Bamboo. I definitely have a lot of bamboo growing. I definitely would like more pickaxeness, but I think I'm going to unitize it in a single pickaxe. And I should be able to take out an Enderman with this. And if I can't, then I'll use the pickaxe. But I know what I need. It's very simple. You know, I know how to get it, and I know I don't need, you know, I don't need Silk Touch. I don't need a Silk Touch pickaxe to get it. You know, I don't need that. And I have armor, you know, that will fail very, very quickly. But it's not the main problem. It's not the main problem. And the other thing is, I also now don't need the video settings to be infinitely long because I'm not looking. I know where I'm going. Okay, video settings. Calm down. Yeah. Okay. Now, I know exactly who my enemy is, and I know exactly how to avoid him. And then the other thing is, I don't know, I don't want to have to go around this whole lava thing every single time. That's pretty irritating, aggravating, whatever. I don't know what to do about it, but I'm going to have to come up with a solution. I'm going to have to come up with a solution. I'm going to have to slum up with a collusion. Okay, have you got? No. I just need an Enderman to walk into view that has the thing I need. I was so close. I was so close, and then I was like, oh, I can just put some on the way here. And I was like, oh, I can just keep going, right? Because obviously I'm connected to the source, so I can just take it for granted, right? Not the case. This is not my hidey hole. Get in there, get in there. First and most important, and the only thing that's actually important is getting into the place. Everything else is secondary to that. Hello, dude. Come here, boy. Okay, is anyone else trying to get me? Or is that it? I have 2 ender pearls and I have 2 of those things. Is that guy trying to get me? I don't think so. So now, do I have my... I still have my armor. Somehow I still have my armor after taking like 3 hits from Enderman. That's pretty cool. Did I see any pigs? I don't see any pigs. Let's go. Alright. There's a pig. There's 1 pig. The closer I get to him, the less laterally he's going to go towards me, the less likely he is to ram me into the lava. As much as he might want to, he's not going to be able to, and then I'm going to go through a 1 spot, one block gap, and then I get to the other side. I'm going to be a chicken on the other side. But we're not out of the woods yet. Not out of the woods at all. You know? The woods are here. The woods are now. The woods exist independently of our perception of them as wild or free, whether we think they're the woods or they're not. Right? Every human city, every city on Earth, every city people inhabit and think is so important, every single one used to be a biome. A lot of them used to be forests, a lot of them used to be mostly marshland, some of them used to be desert, right? Some of them used to be scrubland. But every single human established settlement and city at one point was a biome. And I think that's worth reflecting on. We're very close to what I was trying to achieve. Okay? We're very close. Just bear with me. Just bear with me. We're so close. What were you trying to do today? Was it anything? I know this is a 2.5 hour episode, but, like, come on. You know? What's the next video you're gonna watch? It's gonna be about, you know, not poison spiders? Ridiculous. Absolutely will not accept that explanation. Oh yeah, I was trying to get my dirt back. Did I get my dirt back? Or did I lose all my dirt? Did I lose all my dirt? Please tell me I didn't lose all my dirt. I don't want to lose my dirt. Dirt's important to me. Okay, well, what's going on there? Okay, we did get the grass to where I was trying to get it. That's good. So there's some dirt, there's some grass. That's all good. Oh, I see. No, I didn't get the... I tried to get the grass to here. That's where I was trying to get the grass to go. That's fine. That's fine. That's literally fine. All I have to do is put a torch there. The grass will cross this gap, cross that gap, get in there. That's fine. That's fine. That's totally okay. That's totally okay. I'm over it. Okay, I'm not even worried about it. Why are you worried about it? You know, I've forgotten about it. I've taken it off of my back. I'm not even worried about it. And then I'm going to grab as much of this as I can and as many of these as I can. And I've got this, I've got that, I've got that. That's fine. I'm not worried about that. The potatoes, I would like all of my potatoes back. But other than that, yeah, sure. Okay, I think I lost some pumpkin seeds. Okay, I lost some pumpkin seeds. That's a regrettable, sad sort of a loss, but it's something I can handle. I can cope with. You know, I can come back from. You know, I can even cope with it. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, I might be avaricious, you know? I might be rich with desire. I might be full of hope, you know? The most dangerous, terrible, worthless emotion that humanity is able to experience. Hope. I might be hopeful. I might be joyful, you know? I might be avaricious. I might be greedy, you know? There are a lot of things that are wrong with me. God, I love finishing sentences. And in order that a tree's branches might reach heaven, its roots must stretch all the way down to hell. Thank you all so much for watching. Like this video if you liked it. Share it. Also, if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Patreon if you want. You know, I'm not forcing you, you know, but I will probably starve and die if you don't. So there is that. No pressure, you know, but just know it's critical to my survival that you do it. And no matter who you are, no matter what your situation is in life, no matter what you're going through, it is always Tuesday. And have a great day.